that's St.Amant here. So I'm so excited today because I was out, of course, shopping and Valentine's stuff is out. And I just wanted to show you my find and what I plan to do. But they have such cute little, these teacher gifts in their Valentine's section. And there's just a lot of notepads and little journals. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's only $1.98. This is so cute. It's a little flip journal and it comes with a pen. So I saw this and I thought I have to have it. I just wanted to start a new journal and I liked the fact that they were kind of like that bookmark style, the longer one, and I have a lot of different ideas for it. But what I want to do first is just resurface it so it looks more like an art journal and less like a teacher's gift, even though it's uber cute. So I am going to use, I was eco-dyeing some paper the other day and I have all these cool eco-dyed papers that I use coffee, Coke, and beets, believe it or not, to dye my paper. But I was working on another journal and I have a whole bunch of scraps here. So I am literally going to use the strips and I am going to resurface this. I was doing some cutouts with some art on it for this journal I was doing. And I thought, I got to keep these scraps because I love them. I'm going to use them to resurface my journal here. So that's what I'm going to do today. I've got all these different colors and patterns, and I'm just going to go ahead and resurface it using the strip and turn it into like a funky little journal. And I've got all these cool patterns, and you can do this with any kind of paper that you have. If you like to coffee stain or eco dye your papers, bring those out, or you can use craft paper if you like. But this is just going to be surfaced in my eco dyed papers, and I'm going to do the front, and I'm going to do the back, and I'm going to do the inside covers. And then I'll be sure to videotape some updates of how I end up doing it inside as well, what I end up doing to the inside. But we're just resurfacing it today. And I'm just going to use some tacky glue. I've got a popsicle stick to smear the glue. Have scissors if I need it. I've got my ruler to tear paper if I want. So I'm pretty much just gonna go with my gut and wing this. So let's get started. I'm just gonna start with strip at the bottom. Yeah, my tacky glue is a little gunky inside. I've been using it a lot lately for some other projects. Anyways, the reason why I'm using tacky glue over the glue stick is because I really want the papers to stick. And I'm going to just fold it open this way because I don't want to get any glue on the inside pages. And I'm just going to smear to make sure that it coats evenly. And I'm going to get a strip down. I don't know if I have enough glue on there. Doesn't look like it. So you just want to make sure that the whole surface is covered and no gaps, because you don't want these, this being the cover, to be just kind of rip off. And I'm not going to worry about these little bits and bobs that are hanging over. I'm just going to tear them off after when I think what I'm going to do is save this piece for over here since it's already cut out, because we do want to go around the pieces here. And I'm not doing it in any particular order. I'm actually just going to be applying them on, going from left to right, like horizontal, vertical. And if you have a particular you know, you're really particular on how you want to place your paper, I'm going to leave a little bit of the black showing at the top. Then, you know, you can plan it out. I do this a lot. I do art a lot, and I just kind of start building compositions as I go. Sometimes I'll plan, but when I'm art journaling, that kind of stuff, I don't really do a lot of planning. Only because I do so much planning with my home decorative lines, my art there. So I like to just kind of be free with my journaling and not do too much planning. It's my way of letting go. So, like I said, I'm just going to kind of leave the pieces sticking out, and I'll worry about them later. What else do I have here? I have so many cool papers. I'm just going to start kind of weaving strips, overlapping. Creating it, you know, with the same kind of concept in mind, that it's like I'm art journaling a page, collaging a page. I really like this texture. I'm just tearing pieces off as I go. I want to make sure the underneath is covered, but there's little bits and bobs that I want shown. So at first it just looks like I'm putting strips down, but I like to just tear like pieces out and make it a little bit rustic looking, you know, less clean. Okay. I didn't prepare to have a little strip of something. Okay, so I want to get a chunk in here. I think I'm just going to do a big piece around here. But first, if you're getting one of these, I want to cover the paper underneath where the pencil goes. So I'm going to get a little strip of something in there before I do a round. That's about the only tricky part in this on the cover, is just getting around the pen. And if you're more comfortable just cutting pieces off, you can go ahead and do that. I'm just going to kind of eyeball a strip here. I'm going to get a little piece cut, a little strip to go underneath. Whoops, glue stick everywhere. And just going to push that down. And then I can start working around it. And this is kind of neat how that cut off. So I'm just going to kind of keep working that piece here, over here, like so. Come on. I hate when my sticky glue gets down to the wire and it's so hard to get out. And I know I've got, so I bought this glue in particular so that I could just kind of stick it in the cap. But it's force of habit. I always forget to do that, and I just put it upright. So it's not serving its purpose. Let's see if I try to concentrate. Okay. So I'm going to get some paper around there just to cover that little rivet. And this eco-dyed paper is just copy paper, so the nice thing is when it gets glue, it becomes a little more pliable once it's wet, so you can just kind of mold it around. Okay, now I just need a strip here. I really like this kind of peachy tone, but I'm going to get another strip of this. To put down. Make sure there's glue everywhere. There, that's looking really nice. And I'm getting like little, you know, tiny pieces in some area, but it just looks so nice when you get all these little tiny pieces down, and then once it dries, it just looks really neat rather than slapping down a whole bunch of big pieces like strips, and then, you know, everybody can see what you did, which is okay, but you know, just try and do a little something different for a change and get big pieces in and little pieces. Okay, so I'm going to get a big piece in here. Get some more glue down to cover the area. And I can tear this little piece that's around the rivet here. You can just kind of tear off as you go there. There you go. Okay. So I'm going to get a couple, let's see if I've got, this is a nice piece here. So I'm going to start getting some pieces across so that it's not looking so cut and pasty. And I just want to make some irregular tears. This is really cool too. I'm going to do a bigger piece right over the top over here. It's got a little bit of that fuchsia tone. And I used, and it's okay if you're covering, you know, bits that you've already put paper down. That'll kind of help you with your composition too, is just try not to worry too much about what's underneath, even if you're covering what you already have there. you'll end up with a much more interesting composition if you just keep layering rather than, you know, like putting a square piece here and then you get kind of that patchwork look, which is not the look I'm going for. So it's just, if this is the look that you want, something like what I'm creating, then go ahead and do what I'm doing. If you want something that's more clean and you want to see the patchwork, then you'll just do pieces. So just kind of do with, you know, whatever floats your boat. There's so many interesting papers to choose from. I used beets for this echo dyeing, so I got that really nice fuchsia color. I'll just end up covering all that down there so I don't see the distinction. Yeah, so when I was making this paper, and I will have a video up on how I did this paper as well, but on the ones that have all this purple in here, I actually used Coke and beets and cranberry juice with a little bit of instant coffee grounds to get that kind of speckled look. And I was really pleased with how the colors came out. I mean, I got a variety of these kind of like peach tones. Oh, this was actually from a different paper that I used. Carrots, beets, I used foliage from my yard, and a little bit of coffee to kind of tint the water, but there wasn't much. But you can see all the different, you know, color tones that I was able to get. Just trying to figure out this last little piece. What do I want to do? I don't know if I really want these peaches in there. I'll just use something that has a little more coffee dye in it. I'll go up this way. So, okay, that's where it's going to go. Bit of that off and put that down. And I can see a little bit of the black from underneath coming through, so I'm still going to get a little piece down in going across. And I really like this speckled look here, so I'm going to use a piece of this, just like a strip going across. Let's see, just a little bit right there, little accent. I think that'll look pretty good. Just gonna tear this here. Let's see now. I can still see some of that black coming through, and I'm not a fan of that, so gonna get another stretch of this going in here just to hide that. And I like to just get some irregular, because I've got a base underneath. I know that it's covered, but I just want to get some uneven edges so it's not so cut and dry. I love this little piece. I don't want to cover it. I'm just going to lift it up. It's still wet. It's okay. But I just don't want to cover that speckle piece. So if it's not dry yet, you can lift it up. Otherwise, if it's dry, don't try tearing it. Just maybe put another piece over top. Okay, and then I can get this back down. There we go. Okay, so that's looking really good. We've got everything covered. We just need to let this dry. Got a little excess glue over here. I'm going to add another little strip going across because it's got a little gunky. Trying to figure this out. Which way do I want it? Are you guys used to me by now? Every time I start doing my work, my tone gets lower and lower as I concentrate. Okay, there, how's that looking? So excited, doesn't that look pretty? Oh my gosh. So then all I got to do, I'm going to wait for it to dry. This might be dry now. So wait for it to dry totally, because if it's still wet, it could really tear the paper that's already on the book. But once it's dry, just fold it over, take a ruler or your nail and just kind of drag it along to loosen up the paper. That one's still wet, so I'm not going to play with it too much. And then it'll be easy to just tear off, and then you can get that kind of torn look. What I'm going to do is use my ruler for safe keeping, because I really don't want it to rip what's on top. And then you could just tear it off like that, and then that way you've got like that nice kind of torn edge and it's not scissor cut. So it's still drying, but if I bend these other, and I'm going to trim this up here too once it dries, but look how pretty that is. And then you can put the pen back in and you can use it as a little notebook. You can actually give it away as a little gift, or you can journal inside of it. So I'm going to do the same technique to the back of the book, and then using the same technique, just cover it up, and then in a few minutes I'll just show you what the finished book looks like. All right, cool. I decided that on the first page, and I wanted to share with you guys, I know exactly what I'm going to do, and I thought you might be interested in seeing how I start off this journal. And I'm going to get a nice piece of my stained papers here, my Echo Dog papers, and I'm going to make a pocket. Isn't this pretty? It reminds me of tie-dye. I'm going to make a pocket by folding up the pages, and I'm going to do this in a number of the books, but I thought I want to just at least show you guys so that if you did end up doing one and you're interested in creating the same thing, I can't even remember what this measured at, then you'll know how. Ooh, I got to make it the same width. Okay, so this page is 2 3/4. Whoops, it's not 2 3/4. Just want to cut a strip down. Is that right? Okay. And I've got to cut a piece of paper, so I might as well cut 2 sheets for both sides. And I'll show you why in a second. Okay. So I'm just going to paste that down. And in fact, maybe I won't use the whole paper because I want to be able to use it for something else. So you only need about 4 inches down, because we're going to fold this up and the other side is what's going to be completely covered. So on this side, I want it to be covered at the bottom, so I have to cut just a little bit off the top so it fits. Oops. So let's see. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. So let's start with the back part. I'm just gonna cover the whole page with glue. And I'm going to do this throughout this journal. I'm going to cover random pages and make like different length pockets. So make sure that the part that you want exposed on the front of your pocket is down at the bottom of the page here. Okay, and then on this side, we're going to put the paper that we cut. I think I'll use the torn part up at the top. So this is going to end up being our pocket. So we'll glue that down. Should probably be gluing on this so that I don't get excess on the bottom and my pocket glues shut. Okay, get that down. Use your bone folder just to flatten. And then at this point, you can decide how long or how high you want your pocket. And you can also do different colors on the back. It doesn't have to be, you know, totally the same, but I wanted it very similar in color. And then just, you know, add a little glue on the side here to close up your pocket. Use your bone folder, rub it down, and look how cool that is. And then if you want, you can do, you know, another pocket here. You can have them staggered. That's what I'm going to do. So in the front, as I open it, I'm going to have staggered pockets. And you can do it as, you know, deep as you want, and you can shove little notes in here and stuff. So let me do one more for you so you can see what it looks like. But it's such a cool little journal. So I want more of the white showing on this bottom one. So I'm going to make sure that I have that on the back. All right. So this was 2 3/4 wide. And I will just use the same paper since I already have one cut for the front of the pocket. You don't have to, but it's easy enough just to, you know, reuse some of the papers that you already have. And I think what I'll do is tear the bottom here so that I have more of a, like a jagged edge for my pocket. Just kind of eyeballing it, guys. Okay. All right. So I'm doing the back of the page first. This is the front of the book. That's the pocket. This is the part that's going to fold up. So you want to do the back of the page. So I'm just going to flip it so I can glue it. Bone folder, make sure it's really flat. I'm going to flip it over and get this piece down. And as you can see, it doesn't take much time at all just to cover, you know, the pages. Now, I want this pocket to show a bit, so this is going to be a shallow pocket. And again, just gluing the sides. And you can have, you know, another little one here if you want. And these make great little pockets for tags if you're into making tags. And I'm actually going to use some of this paper to jelly print on to make tags that go in here. And so that's it. So you can continue that, and then you can just actually cover a whole sheet here, and then when you open the front page, you've got all these little pockets, these neat little flaps, and you can actually do little flaps on this side too. Like if you want to make little pockets across here and have more tabs, you can literally make it a little journal full of tabs and tags and keep your little tags in, and you can write little affirmations on your tags and make it kind of like a me journal. And all the things you love, or all the things you want to do, or maybe you want to do a bucket list. It's a really nice way, a really cute way of organizing your little aspirations and dreams, and or if you just want to do your art. So hope you enjoyed this today, you guys, and I'll be sure to post some more little tips on how you can work in this little repurposed eco-dyed journal. Guys, we're working on another couple pages in our pocket journal, and today I'm going to do another little unique pocket. And so we're going to get, this is the front of our book. I always hope that you guys can see where we're at. Okay, so I've done the back of this page. These are finished pages. We're going to work on this page today. And you know, I always kind of pull the page, I just flip the book so that I've got the page that we're working on. This is the front, and this is the back portion. Now, when we're doing these little pockets and I flip it up, we always want to make sure we cover the back part. So I'm going to flip the book. This is our back portion, and I am going to get my paper on the back. Let me just trim it here. Oops. Having technical difficulties. I'm trying to go around the glue, and what I should be doing is just tearing it properly with my ruler flat, but you know, obstacles seem to run my course when I'm doing a video, and my little whoopsies happen, or my little, what are they called when you're filming, your little outtakes, all those things that go wrong that aren't supposed to go wrong. I should do a whole video on that. That would be funny. What could go wrong? Because I'm sure it's happened to everybody. That's what makes it so funny, is when you can relate. Okay, so that's the back. All right, and what we're going to do today is we're going to flip it right up to the top. Okay, and then we are going to flip this portion like a towel fold or something like that. So we do want to cover the back of this. And if you want a different pattern here than here, you have to use 2 different pieces of paper. And that's what I'm going to do. If I can find, let's see. So, how to get something spotted there, and then what do I have? This one's torn, so I think I'll use a piece of this. Okay, so let me cut this to size. This time I'll move my glue so it's easier to cut. Okay. And I'm kind of an eyeballer, so on this portion that's going to flip back, I want that showing. So let me just let's fold this so we know where we need to cut to. So fold your paper in half. So I want this on half the page. So just go down where your fold is. If you're a measurer, you can go ahead and measure everything. Like I said, I just like to eyeball it, and I want this part showing. So you got to figure out what piece you want showing. This is the portion that's going to be flipped. So whatever you've got in this top right-hand corner, the way that I'm sitting, is going to be the part that shows. So this part's going to be showing. Or if I do it this way, this part's going to be showing, but I think I'm going to do it this way. Okay. So let's glue that down. Okay, and then you want to select a piece of paper that is going to show here. So I had some really yummy kind of splattered one. Maybe I'll just do something that has a little more white in it. But I don't want to cut this. I want to use this for my next one. Okay, so let's use this. I'll glue this down. Something that's already cut. That's how I'm rolling today. Okay, and it's okay. I mean, right here, there's some paper showing, but that's where we're going to glue our folds. I'm not too worried about that. You'll see in a second here. All right, so we'll get that down. Just want to make sure that this is flat so it doesn't get snagged on the papers that I'm going to tuck. Okay, and then we can redo our fold. So we're literally just folding it in half so it touches at the top here. And then this part we're going to fold down so it's even over here. And we're just going to fold it down. Almost like origami. Have you guys done origami? It's very similar. Okay, so we're going to get glue on the back portion here. And we're going to get a little bit glue here so we can seal our pocket. Now, another thing that you can do, last week I showed you with the masking tape. We used masking tape for the bottom of this coffee filter. So if you want to go ahead and add some masking tape to seal it, you can definitely do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this, but I'm going to add masking tape right here afterwards so that I've got another little tuck spot here. So that same kind of technique, put your masking tape down halfway and then just fold it over. And the reason why I'm using masking tape with this pocket journal is the color just is nice and neutral. You can use washi tape if you have a nice washi tape that you like. I just didn't happen to have a neutral one that I liked with this pattern because I do want to keep the book just cohesively looking the same. So there's our little pocket. So we've got a pocket here. Just unfold that a little bit. So we've got a pocket here, and we also have a little tuck spot underneath. So you've got all kinds of little goodies. So let's work on our pages going down here so we don't see the line. Now, I like to do my pockets layered like this. I find them so cool. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to leave that for after. Okay, so with this one, I'm going to use... So again, you want to think about how it's going to flip up, like what paper is going to show. And I want that pink paper to show. So I'm going to put the pink on the back. And let's move it up. At this point, you can do your fold too. Just kind of figure out where it's going to be. That's where my fold's going to be. All right. So let's single this guy out, flip it over so we can glue our paper down. So we got to glue paper on the front side and back side as always. And you know, if you have some time and you want to do work in your journals and you don't want to wait for my videos, you can always go through and just start resurfacing your journal so that all the pages are covered, so that when it comes time to seeing the videos and the different pockets that we're going to make, then you can just go ahead and watch the tutorial. And then your paper is already ready. See how I always do the back too, because it can buckle. And then you'll be all ready to go and have some nice papers ready. Okay, so on this one, I'm glad I made this little error because I want you guys to see I have a little bit of white showing and I really don't want it to show. So what I'm going to do with this one is take some masking tape. Just going to get rid of that piece because it's sticky. I'm going to take a little masking tape and put it on the edge to fold over. Now you don't have to, like I've done this on some of my other ones and I just leave it because it doesn't really bother me. But with some people, if you make this little mistake and you've got a little bit of paper and it bothers you, just take a little bit of washi tape or masking tape to, you know, finish off the edge. And then that way, when you make your pocket, you have a little edge of masking tape, which is really cute too. So, and you can use it to washi tape or masking tape to glue down the sides of your pocket too. You don't always have to use glue. It just depends on what, you know, what look you're looking for. Okay, so I'm going to have it folded there, and I'm going to just crease my paper that way because I only need to cover this part of the paper, not the whole thing. So, I need to find a piece of paper. Let's use this. I kind of like that burnt look. And I'm going to just tear it down to size here. Okay. Oops. And we're going to get that glued down. Perfect. Okay, and then we're just going to glue down the sides. If you want to use your washi tape, go right ahead. I'm just going to use glue. And same procedure as, whoops, everything else. I should really have a piece of paper down there. So there's another little pocket. When you fold this over, it's showing. Okay, so on the last page here, I'm going to use one of my tea bags as a pocket. Now, it's the same method as the tea bag pocket that I made from the front. So I hope you watched the video, and this is the one that I was trying to stitch, but my sewing machine went kaput and it just kind of tore. But I had already covered the tea bag label with paper, and I thought I'm going to use it. I'm not throwing it out. So I'm just going to use my masking tape to mend it. Love masking tape. And I'm going to flip this up. So if you guys want to know how to make the little tea bag tutorial, just make sure you go back and watch the video, because I did do a tutorial on it. Okay, so I'm just doing a little mend job. And I kind of like it because it's, you know, it's not perfect. It is just literally a mended tea bag. And then what I'm going to do is, you know how I love my little stamps. So I'm just going to get one of my little word stamps here. And so it doesn't look so out of place, I'm just going to stamp on the masking tape going down. So it looks like washi tape, just like so. Isn't that cute? And you can stamp here too if you want. And I think I've got a little number stamp. We'll use this one. And I'm just gonna lightly stamp just a little bit on it, so it gives a little interest to that pocket. And now then this pocket is going to end up going right here on the page, but I've got to cover it first. So let's go ahead and do that. And that's why I wanted more of the white at the bottom, because then it'll stand out more. Let me see, maybe... Okay, I'm going to use this one. So then just, let's see, do I need to trim this guy? Yep, I do. I'm going to trim that first. Okay, so we're going to get some paper down. Oops, not again. I'm not even talking this time. I'm really concentrating. Okay. Lost my bone folder in the sea of paper. All right. So before I add the pocket, let me just finish the back portion of it. I'll use this paper. Just cut that little piece off. So many interesting papers. I just love these eco-dyed paper. Aren't they pretty? And what's nice is you never know what you're going to come up with. And it's so unique. This glue stick. All right. I have some dried on carrots in this one and I can smell it. It's like scratch and sniff paper. Okay. So my little pocket, she's gonna go here. Isn't she cute? Make sure my little strings are out of the way. These little pockets are so fun to make, little tea pockets. Oh, I just adore them. I just have to drink more tea so I can get some more tea bags. And put my husband to that task. Okay. Just be gentle with this little guy because the tea bag paper is delicate. Okay. Oh, isn't that cute? I'll cut this little string off. You can leave it if you want. I'm going to cut it. And then I've got another little string here, so I'm going to make another tag. But what I love to do is stamp. Love to stamp. I gotta have my stamps. And it just adds so much character. And this looks postage. And I like to go nice and light so it looks old, and isn't that cool? So on this one, I'm going to make another tag, and I think what I'm going to do is make a long skinny tag so it can just stick in there. But that is our last page today. So we've got, oh, let me just get this light here. So we made this kind of towel fold, I'm calling it, like a handkerchief fold. So we've got a pocket here and a little tuck spot here, and then when we flip it over, we've got our little pocket here, flip again, and we've got our little tea bag pocket. So cute. And then you can add whatever you want up here. So Hope you guys are getting some ideas on how to, you know, fill up your little pocket journals. Look, we're getting there. I'm so excited. It's getting nice and chunky. It's looking so good. And I mean, you can do this with any kind of paper, but if you like this paper, you know, you've got it available for you. If you're following me over on Patreon, you can access it and download it for free. Well, part of the membership. All right, so thanks for watching again, guys, and we'll